This lecture is going to provide a very brief overview of the law relating to patents, and I'm going to presume that you have zero knowledge pertaining to this particular IP right. Okay, so the first point to note is that a patent is a negative right and not a positive right. So in this lecture, I will be explaining what exactly this means and the importance of the implications of this statement. Okay, so the first question is, what exactly is the point of obtaining a patent? Well, the point is that a patent is going to convey to its owner the right to prevent others from making use of the patented invention in any way whatsoever. And from this statement, it should be clear to you that just like copyrights, a patent is also an exclusionary right because it excludes others from making use of the patented invention. Okay, the next question is, what exactly is the effect of successfully obtaining a patent in a country? That is, just because you obtain a patent successfully in your country, does it mean that you have also automatically gained protection in other countries as well? Well, the answer to this is not straightforward because it depends on whether or not your country is a party to the PCT, that is the Patent Cooperation Treaty. But even if your country has acceded to this particular treaty, there is a separate procedure to file an international application. So generally speaking, patents are national in nature, that is, they are territorial, so they have effect only within the territory of the country in which the patent was issued or granted. Okay, so let's come to the next question, which is, what exactly are patents concerned with? So we know that trademarks, for instance, are concerned with marks that are used in the course of trade, and that copyright is concerned with protecting literary and artistic works. So the question is, what are patents concerned with? Well, the answer is that patents are concerned with applied technology. So in copyright, for example, the subject matter under consideration was, for instance, either a book or a painting or some other literary or artistic work. And in trademarks, the subject matter under consideration would be either a symbol or a sign or a logo or even a trade name that is being used as a trademark. So when it comes to patents, the subject matter under consideration is going to be some sort of an invention, and this invention may either be a product or it may be a process. And as I have mentioned in one of my earlier lectures where I introduced all sorts of IP rights, the key to remembering what patents are concerned with, that is the subject matter that patents deal with, is to simply note the fact that patents starts with the letter P and that product and process, both of these words also start with the letter P. So whenever you're trying to recall what exactly patents deal with, well, you simply have to focus on the letter P and it should help you instantly recall that patents deal with products or processes. Okay, so hopefully we are clear about the fact that the subject matter for patents is an invention, which may either be a product or a process. Now, obviously, there are certain criteria that need to be fulfilled before any invention can be granted a patent. So, for instance, the invention must be new, it must involve an inventive step, and it must be capable of industrial application, because remember, patents are concerned with applied technology, so the invention has to be capable of industrial application, otherwise it's not going to be considered as patentable. So these criteria obviously we're going to be looking at in detail in the other lectures where we discuss patents in detail. But this is just an overview, so you should be aware of the fact that in order for an invention to be considered patentable, there are certain conditions that need to be satisfied. So just as in trademark law, for example, a trademark has to be distinctive, and there are other requirements as well, but I'm just trying to compare the fact that there are requirements for every kind of IP right. And as regards copyright, there are again requirements such as, for example, that the work must be original and it should be recorded in permanent form. So similarly, in patents, there are requirements that have to be satisfied before an invention can be patented. So the successful grant of a patent is going to be determined on the basis of whether or not the invention meets the criteria. And like I said earlier, we will be going through each of these criteria in different lectures later on. Okay, the next point that I want to address in this lecture is that when it comes to filing for a patent, there are essentially two systems. One is the first to file system and the other one is the first to invent system. So in Pakistan, we follow the first to file system, and the difference between these two systems is pretty simple. So let's go through an example in order to understand the difference between these two systems. Let's say there are two people, Tom and Jerry. And of course, please note that this is just a hypothetical situation and not a factual one. Right, so let's imagine a world without any mobile phones. And let's say that Tom invents the first mobile phone ever. Further, let's presume that Tom has invented the first mobile phone in the month of January 2021. However, while working on the invention, Tom had to spend a lot of sleepless nights. Therefore, he decides to take a well-deserved break. And of course, after this break, he does intend to file for an application later on, so he does plan to get this invention patented. It's just that he's too tired at the moment to start the process. Now, let's imagine that in the meanwhile, another person, Jerry, who is completely oblivious to the fact that Tom has also invented a mobile phone. And I repeat, so this person, Jerry, has no idea that there is another person named Tom who has also already invented a mobile phone. Now let's further presume that Jerry gets done with making his mobile phone in Feb 2021, that is 1 month after Tom had invented the mobile phone in Jan 2021. So hopefully the facts are clear to you. Two people have invented a mobile phone. Both of them are unaware of the fact that the other one is making the same product. And one of them, that is Tom, finishes making the product in Jan 2021, while the other one, named Jerry, finishes making that product in Feb 2021. Now with these facts, let's try to understand the difference between the first to file system and the first to invent system. So first of all, let's take the first to file system. What happens in a country that follows the first to file system is that whoever comes first to file for the patent is going to be given the priority when it comes to searching for the state of prior art at that point in time. Now at this point, I will also have to explain briefly what I mean to say by prior art. So prior art simply means that whenever somebody comes to file for a patent, the very first step is to search for whether or not that particular technology, that particular invention is already in the knowledge of the public. That is, if that information, if that technology is already in the public domain, then that is going to defeat your patent application at the outset, because your invention is already something that the public is aware about. It's not really an invention at all. So your application to be granted a patent for your invention is going to fail if that particular invention is considered as already falling under prior art. Prior simply means the knowledge that the public already has prior to you filing the application. So let's say that you have come to file an application in May 2021. So whatever information is available in the public domain, that is whatever knowledge the public already has up till May 2021, is going to be considered as prior art. So in short, if your invention is considered as prior art, then your application is not going to proceed. So coming back to what I was explaining, that is, in a first to file system, when Tom and Jerry have invented their respective mobile phones, the one who is going to first go and file for a patent is going to be given the priority, because let's say that Tom is lazy, like I told you that he is very tired, so he decides to take a break. And Jerry, even though he took longer than Tom to invent the mobile phone, but he is very active. And as soon as he gets done with making that mobile phone, the very next day he rushes to the patent office and submits his application along with the relevant documents. Now in this situation, when Jerry actually goes to the patent office in Feb 2021, and at that time they run a search for what's already prior art. And remember that we're living in a world where there are as yet no mobile phones. So up till Feb 2021, when they run a search in their database to check for what information is already available in the public domain, then it's not going to show that the invention, that is the mobile phone, is already something that is available with the public. So in this situation, when Jerry files for the patent, he is successfully going to be granted the patent, provided of course that all the other conditions and requirements are met. But he is going to be granted the patent despite the fact that he is not the first one to invent it. Because as we already know from the story that I told you, that Tom is in fact the first person who invents the mobile phone. But unfortunately, while Tom is sleeping, Jerry has in the meanwhile already applied for the patent, and therefore he is given the priority, since the system is a first to file system and not a first to invent system. So what happens in a first to file system is that regardless of who first invented that particular product, the patent is going to be granted to the person who first files the application. So on the screen you can see that first of all there is this person A who invents something, and then there is another person B who also invents that same thing independently. That is, there is no cheating, there is no copying. So it's not like A has somehow or the other gotten his hands on the steps involved in A's invention. It just happens to be the case that B has also independently invented the same thing that A had invented already. But as you can see in the diagram, B is the first one to file for the patent application, and A also files for an application, but he does so later than B. So like I said earlier, in a first to file system, B is going to receive the patent because B filed the invention first. And in this situation, by the way, A represents Tom and B represents Jerry. Now if you have clearly understood the system that is followed in a first to file country, then it should not be too difficult to understand the opposite, that is the first to invent system. So as you can probably guess by yourself, the first to invent system is a system where A is going to receive the patent because A has invented the product first. Now as regards the question as to how A is going to prove that he in fact invented the product before B did, because obviously in a first to invent system, A will have to show first that he indeed invented the product before B did. By the way, that's a matter that relates more to evidence, and we are not discussing this in this lecture. And the more important point is that in most countries, the first to file system is now followed. Okay, so hopefully you are now clear about the difference between the first to file and the first to invent system. There is still one more point that needs to be addressed. That is why patents are considered as negative rights and not positive rights. But this lecture is already quite long, so I will address this particular point in the next lecture.